I am still on a mission to get through this fishbowl of long procrastinated because doing so is only the very first part of my broader mission to attempt to snap myself out of a cycle of procrastination, perfectionism, and dig myself out from the black hole of starting 99 things but never finishing one before I self-sabotage my online tie-dye shop into extinction by way of vlogging. We are going on vlog number 2 or 3, and this is all I've managed to get through so far. Keep track of which is which from start to finish. So weed plants, pre-made made-to-order designs, pre-tied patterns, inventory count sheets, tie-dye design dictionary, wood crafting, fig tree, set up my tie-dye tent, about pages, new inventory bins, splatters to double dye since 2020. It'll be like an awesomeness amplifier. Did I say this is supposed to be a tour of long procrastinated projects, like the physical manifestation of I've been procrastinating and ideas I've yet to act on in and around my tie-dye studio. Instead of just doing a normal walkthrough due to the planning paralysis thing, that is why I have resorted to gamifying it instead by drawing each thing from this fishbowl at random. Orange. Now these are color-coded, by the way. Timing tasks and keeping counts. Color coding though, orange is anything relating to efficiency, systemizing things, reducing and or eliminating bottlenecks, and just like overall optimization of how I do things. Timing tasks and keeping counts is also important to me for a number of reasons. One of the more important things is for my own sake. The fact that I have like zero concept of time. Not only that, that's like the timing aspect, but the counts too. It counts in so many different ways. I want to keep count of how many like geodes I can tie with one roll of sinew. That's something I've failed to ever follow through with. Also counts in the sense of my inventory. This is something I've already explained. I feel like, was inventory sheets already one of the things I pulled from the fishbowl? What I really need to do though, I feel like I started to say this and then derail. Once I get enough, make note of enough different things, I need to start compiling it into an organized like spreadsheet that I can then print and have like the actual averages in my binder.
5 minutes later.
This is supposed to be, the idea is supposed to be just a very surface level, rapid fire style overview of each thing. But at the same time, if I were to like do that, I guess in a way it works out, because then knowing myself, I would, who knows how many more months I would procrastinate. For example, the rainbow window film thing. With that in mind, another orange one. Made to order design specific die minis. This right here is something I actually already explained. What if I were to make mini die doubles of the colors specific to certain made to order ice dye designs that I like, my most popular ones that I find myself making most frequently? That's exactly what I did. Especially as of recently, I've been becoming only ever increasingly desperate to get off of this hamster wheel of constantly making made to order designs once and for all. It's kind of like the concept of like spending more time working on your business instead of in your business. Like I spend all my time working in it. Point being, anything to streamline and simplify the process of producing the made to order designs is a big priority. I have a bunch that are already labeled that need to be filled still, and also a few more I want to do, but that requires going to the dollar store. I need even more of the little mini containers I use for those mini die doubles, I call them. I'm really glad I followed through with that idea and acted on it right away. That is one of the better ideas I've had, since that saved me a time of explaining. How about for number 3? Pink one. Pit Viper patch. Okay, this is easy. I have this patch right here that I've had. When did I get this? Pit Viper sunglasses. Those are the colorful sunglasses I wear. And at one point when I placed an order, they had this like thing on the website, a mystery bag. This was one of the handful of things that came inside of there, which is like a stick-on patch. Ever since I got this, I knew immediately I wanted to make a zip-up hoodie for myself, a tie-dye one, and put this on it. And I just yet to make the hoodie, and I'm pretty sure I only have like, I want to say 2 blank white zip-up hoodies left to dye for myself, and the last few I made came out not nearly as awesome as I was hoping they would, especially considering these other fleece I made in the past. These ones came out awesome in my opinion, and then the ones I make for myself just come out mediocre is generous. That is why I've been especially procrastinating anything I have to dye for myself, which is a lot of stuff. Oh, pink. I didn't say the color coding thing. Pink symbolizes anything that is like a physical in real life project or task to do. Some of them are more personal projects. Like that one I would categorize as like a personal project for myself, which reminds me, there's a couple other things I really should add to the fishbowl that have come to mind over the last couple of days that would all be pink, I think. Blue one. Okay, blue. Oh, I pulled 2. Should I do both, or okay, I'll do the one that was on the outside. Mostly the blue ones primarily pertain to content related ideas. By that I mean like areas, setups, product displays. First and foremost, for the sake of getting product photography and pictures to use on my website. Glass table idea. Why does it say in the making? Glass table in the making idea? I don't understand like what this means. Like, Glass table in the making idea. Oh, I know, content. Okay, content. Like I was wanting to use the glass table specifically for a certain kind of picture I was visualizing would look really cool, almost like an optical illusion. The glass tabletop, I call it the time table, but I was thinking I could put tie-dyes in the making, like ice dyes especially would be cool to put underneath it, and then also have things on top of the time table, whether it be probably more in the making. Another pink one. Bag of blank defects that I've yet to just decide what exactly to do with them. Now, some of them are salvageable, where the ones that have holes and stuff at the seams I can sew. It pisses me off to find defects at all, period, but at least the ones I can sew, I'm glad when I find them still blank rather than after I've already dyed them. This is all stuff to sew, and actually my favorite tank top I've ever made for myself. Like, I wish it were on a different style tank top because the fit is kind of awkward. This I like so much. I had it made into coasters, and also I've used it for like logos and some other kind of graphics too as a background. I wish I could replicate this. This was made completely unintentionally, like the way the colors and patterning is. Also, the defects though, that is something. That is like a mini storyline within this mission de-procrastination thing I have been documenting for probably well over a year now at minimum. The fact that I just keep receiving an ever increasing number of defective things every time I order blanks.
The next day.
Let's see what the Fishbowl decides I'll be explaining today. Blue one, so content idea probably. Shallow splat racks. This is something that actually is equally as much probably could have been an orange one because it was initially for the sake of like efficiency. Space condensing optimization is the primary purpose behind replacing all of my splat racks a number of months ago. Was it over a year ago? I don't know. I could definitely figure it out based on B-roll. I don't know why, how it was even possible that I went years without this ever occurring to me once before. Why didn't it just click with me intuitively, like how much more efficient and logical this would have been to do from the very start instead of having what I call my like jumbo splat rack and similar ones that are just like the smaller versions of that, but they're all like deep storage bins, like the same kind I use for my inventory. Not only does having the shallow ones allow me to not have the splat racks all over taking up floor space, also they're then that much easier and less dreadful and burdensome to empty out and clean out, take over to the sink. Also, the splat rack thing, by having all shallow ones, like how much more content opportunities that creates. I would go years, I would always try and get pictures of things in the making, then I'd always be disappointed by the background because they'd be so low to the ground. The light bulb didn't go off until however many months ago it was that I finally, once and for all, got all shallow splat racks. Now I can do even more cool, visually captivating kind of pictures. I want to say content ops, but primarily photography is the main goal. Photography, pictures for my website. For example, like on the bar top, I can do like put the shallow splat racks on and in front of the bar, and they fit perfectly on those little black shelves I still have in front of the bar. Now only to take advantage of those content opportunities, having all shallow splat racks creates much more often. To think that was another thing I procrastinated explaining because it just felt too mentally exhausting. And how long did that just take? I guess let's see what number 2 will be. Pink. Pink is physical in real life tasks or projects to do. Ice dye swatches. I had this idea in mind for a few years, a solid couple of years before I ever actually started following through on it. Yet another thing I've been vlogging the entire process of. Still to this day, it's not completely done. I just recently finished all the ice dye swatches. I wanted to get a striped version of every single color I have. Just after I finished doing that, just so happened to place a dye order from Dharma and then got a bunch of new colors I've never had before, which created even more swatches I needed to get ice dyed versions and tie-dyed versions of. This is a separate project from, yet heavily intertwined with and related to another long procrastinated project, which is this webpage that's already pre-existing on my website that has swatches of every single dye color in my collection at the point in time that I made the page, but it's been in desperate need of updating, like completely redoing for a very long time now. When was it? I discovered that the formatting was broken. It used to be a 2-column format like this, and then ever since it seemed to be in direct correlation with one of the theme updates I did that all of a sudden afterwards never worked again. It never went back to the 2-column way it was originally, and then I've never been able to fix it either. I've tried multiple different ways. This side over here, this is what that page has looked like ever since, and I have been procrastinating going back and just ever since a handful of attempts at just like updating it in order to fix the format failed, I finally accepted that I'm just gonna have to completely redo the page. That's what I've been procrastinating doing. Now the ice dye swatch thing, like I said, that's totally separate. The fact that I've always, ever since making those solid dye color swatches, wanted to make ice dye versions as well. Now, given that the page needs to be completely redone, I decided I might as well just do both at the same time. Like when I make the updated page, do it with pictures that have each dye color, the ice dyed and tie-dye swatch version of each in both. See, that's like one of the things that feels like one of the more mentally exhausting, complex things I need to explain. And how long did that take me?